You, you know what's weird, Dorian?
What?
Can you hear, can you hear me, Dorian?
Yeah, I heard you know
I I can't
what's weird.
find your live in my other account. Actually, was trying to.
Dude, I don't know what's going on with my YouTube. I had that problem with other people too, man. I was sending it to people
Mhm.
and nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. They kept sending me like error messages and stuff. It's weird. It happens, I guess. I don't know. I like I said, I think I might have got shadow banned. The glorious shadow ban.
I saw the live now. In a
Oh, it
few
popped up.
moments, then we will see someone watching us.
Heck yeah, potentially. Yeah,
There
see, I
it
don't
is.
know. It's weird, man. I haven't like been I haven't there it is. Here's the one. I have
Mm.
like technical issues a lot with my stuff. I don't know what's going on with it exactly. It's hard to be internet famous when you don't your tech doesn't work the way it's supposed to, I gotta say. But that is neither here nor there. So gotta also have the proper content, I guess. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with it.
What kind of sickness do you have?
Oh, I think it's sinitis, rhinitis. You know
Right
what I'm
now,
talking like nasal congestion and then
it's
headache and stuff.
not sinusitis, it's sinusitis.
Sinitis, yeah, I know that's what I'm saying, but like I think once sinitis gets so bad it turns into rhinitis or whatever. I don't know exactly all the details on it. I'm not like again, you're a nurse, you know better than I do. I take your judgment for it.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's been like kind of chronic for a couple of days and it's causing headaches and stuff like that. It might be the Rona, dude. You know that term, Rona?
of course I know.
Like okay, I wasn't for sure if that like hit everywhere or not. Here it was like that was what people were calling it, is the Rona. I thought it was a really funny name, honestly. But could be
Coronavirus
that.
is the main virus for um, COVID and SARS. Actually, it's first
Yeah.
called severe acute respiratory syndrome, and then it mutated into COVID.
Yeah, exactly. I liked that like everyone was freaking out like it's like this new disease and I remember being thinking like, dude, there's like 18 to 20,000 different variants of this already. Like I think Japan and in Asia in general didn't like they have a major SARS outbreak in the early 2000s or something like that.
Yeah, 2006, 2007, around that one. I am already working
Yeah.
in the hospital during that time. We have a patient with coronavirus, and we were not allowed actually to go there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I remember it's like it was like this gigantic thing here and I'm like, dude, this is just this is a semi-normal thing. Obviously not at the same scale, you know what I mean? It was a new, more contagious disease or variant anyway. But for me, I'm just like, dude, this just sounds like what was happening in Asia. Because I remember Japan had like a real bad problem with it. Maybe like you
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
2006 to 2008, maybe. I think that one was like a little bit later.
Say
But
hello
yeah,
to our viewers, Dorian. Don't
hello
forget about it.
everybody. How is it going? We're talking
Hi
about
guys, thank you
diseases.
for watching our live.
Yeah, thank you very
Dorian has
much. I
some
appreciate it.
problems with his audio, but I can still understand him. If you have
Yeah,
some
for real,
questions,
I do.
just leave a message there. We would like to hear something from you, of course. Tell us where you're from, guys. Thank you for watching our live.
Yeah, thank you for watching so much. we get like all sorts of characters on here, and we appreciate that. It gives us like a fresh perspective of how people are and stuff. So, what do you? So what? Like we were talking about before we got on here. What do you think about that whole Tylenol crap, dude? I really think that is just like something else to be targeting
I,
as
I
an autism thing to me.
I really think it's stupid, especially if some medical professionals are talking about it. Um, Autism is a gene disease.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It, it,
It's just like doesn't make sense,
it's
right?
related to DNA. There's something wrong with your DNA. That's why you have autism. So I don't really get why some medical professionals, I don't know, are pushing that it's caused by autism. Actually, autism was discovered first before Tylenol. So
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It just like blows my mind a little bit. I understand. I think what they were doing even was using bad data to like represent it, you know, like the study was basically like on mothers, and then they didn't even use the full study, so they only used like a subjective chunk of it, which is what is
mm,
it like scientific gaslighting basically. Medicine
yes,
does
that's
cause
true.
health problems, but I
I
don't know
believe
about
that. That's
Tylenol.
why if you have like a fever, it's best actually to just hydrate first. Then
Mhm.
the last resort would be taking medicines actually. Do the other stuff first, like resting, usually, being a medical professional, being a nurse actually, we don't just like advise our patients to drink a medicine immediately. Most of the time we would like tell them actually to like do some other palliative care things actually before
Right,
like
like
medicine.
you said, rest or hydration,
Mm,
eating something that is maybe light on the body, but also nutritious. Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, I get like the basic stuff first. I just
Mm.
for me, it's just like to say that is just kind of like really strange. I think the study was misrepresented also because they did like a it was about mothers who take Tylenol and then have a child, and then, like, there's, like, a slightly higher percentage in that
Mm.
particular category, but when they quantified it with, like, mothers that in that same study who had secondary children and did the same practice, the correlation completely disappeared. So, it was just I think they misrepresented the study on top of everything else, and like you said, I'm not, like, saying that people should just take medicine willy-nilly or that it doesn't cause problems sometimes. It's just obviously this is like a well documented medicine, and it's not it's a medicine, but it's a very standard non-active one as far as most things go. It's very highly studied. We know a lot about Tylenol. It's just like
I mean,
penicillin, you know, it's like to blame penicillin for something would be kind of weird to me outside of like what we already know.
Dorian, this is what you get when the head of your department of health is not does not have any medical backgrounds.
You know, I kind of get what you're saying, and I'm not gonna be a total jerk here. I kind of like the guy as a person,
But
but for
you're
him to
not
be
fit
in the
for the
position
job.
he is, yeah, that's what I'm saying. For him to be in the position he's in, I kind of am like, I don't know about that. You know, I do
Mm.
like him. I think he's just as an intelligent and caring person, but I don't think that he has the necessary credentials to be doing the job he does. That I think that because he ran for president and then Trump liked him, he kind of got that position. You know what I mean? And because that was the one that was open, he could be given. Perhaps I don't really know. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm not trying to like throw shots at that guy because I do like him. I just don't think, but I do agree that he probably shouldn't have the position he has. Like I'm gonna be real about it. So it seems like based off that whole Tylenol thing that he might not have the research background exactly either in the medical context. Because obviously the research doesn't back that even. So it's kind of like maybe he's just not doing his due diligence or something. I don't know. I don't want to think that he's not doing his due diligence, but you know, I just wondered if you'd heard about it. I just thought it was very strange for that to be like the thing.
I mean, they have been talking about that even before this has happened. Actually, like a few months ago, even during COVID, actually, they're talking about that. I think they
Oh,
also mentioned one time that like the COVID, um, I even like what do you call this one vaccines actually they think causes um autism, which is so wrong.
yeah. There was a I get where that one comes from, and I'm not like saying they do cause cause autism or anything like that. When vaccines like very first came out or something like that, this was like super long time ago, very, very initial. They used to use like some I mean, I don't know all about it or anything, and I don't think that that is a good basis to say they cause autism. But way back in the day, they used some like mercury compound with vaccines. There was something to do with like somehow for some reason they were using this mercury compound with all vaccines for a while. It was something to do with like the body picking up the medicine or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but I think that's where that comes from
Mm.
initially, but that was disproven way back then. And like even now we don't do any of that. So and maybe I'm wrong about their consensus, but that's like the only thing I've ever been able to find in relation to vaccines at all potentially causing autism. And I just don't see why people even consider that as a possibility. Like I don't get it. Doesn't make any like scientific sense to me. I don't know about you. Like, do you know of any cases or any points that even kind of make sense? I guess not really.
I mean, just talking about this nonsense is actually so. I don't know. People should actually try to read, do their research and stuff.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
especially when it's hard actually to explain this kinds of things to people when they are close-minded already and they have already tried to believe the things that they are believing in the things that they have read or like find something in the internet. And it's hard actually. And you know what? If something happens to them, you deserve it. If you don't want to listen to your doctors and something happens to you, you deserve it.
I would agree. I would agree. It's fair to argue that a doctor can't know everything or whatever else and stuff like that. But you can always go to a second doctor too, right? You get what I'm
That's true.
saying? So it's if you don't trust the first doc, go to another doctor. They tell you the same
Yeah,
thing.
you can always have a second opinion if you don't trust the doctor's opinion.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We got that baked in. So, like, but if they both tell you the same thing, you probably should listen to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
9 years of school doesn't usually turn you wrong, you know what I mean? Especially the intensive school that they take. That's just my opinion. Sure, like even doing the clinicals you did, you know what I mean? You learned a lot. So
Yeah. Usually in the hospital, it's the nurses who would like explain everything to their patient, actually, not the doctor. So that's why
very
we
similar here.
we kind of need to force the information so that they will really believe us. Especially if the one who delivers the news is not really confident, then there might be some doubts. That's why it's always like important to deliver the news with confidence and deliver the health teachings like
Yeah,
something like you know it by heart.
Mhm. I find that usually it's usually the people who are adjacent to these like doctors and then both like laterally like pharmacists also, you know what I'm saying? So like if you go to like a pharmacy and they have a pharmacy, usually they're not the ones that are like in depth explaining things to you. It's usually like the technicians or something like that. In that case, it's like the technicians, you know what I mean? So I find that like both nurses and like in that respect to pharmacists, it's like the technicians. So they tend to actually seem to know more about like the inner dynamics, and then like doctors do like macroscope level
Mm,
stuff more often. Not that they don't know the information, it's just like slightly different roles and responsibilities, we'll say, you know what I mean? I think. And it actually get prepares like nurses or technicians to then do like the doctor job or whatever else, I think.
I see.
It's interesting.
Just wondering, who are those in your farm you know drugstores actually? Is it pharmacy or drugstores? What do you call it?
We call them. I mean, it depends what part of the country you're in, actually. So, we do call them pharmacies around here most of the time. It also depends a little bit on age, I guess you'd say.
So
So
some
some
people
older
still
people
call it
will call them.
drugstore.
Some people still call it drugstores, yeah, actually. So if you're, like, older, you'll call it a drugstore, and then, like, depending on certain parts of the country, I think, like, in the South, they call it a drugstore still,
Okay.
like, in the southern states. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kinda like soda versus pop or, you know, whatever else. Fizzy some people call it fizzy drink. Cola, some people just call it straight cola, like so it's kinda like that thing. It's just like, I don't wanna call it dialect, you know what I mean? Because it's not dialect. That's is it? Or is it dialect?
No, it's not. Dialect
Not
is.
dialect.
I don't know how you explain it
It's
in
not
your.
dialect, I don't think. You know what I'm saying anyway, you know what I mean? Just different
Right.
regions say stuff differently anyway. Yeah. I'm terrible with jargon. I, not my thing.
I see.
You can know a lot about stuff and then not know the jargon, and then try and explain it to someone, and you're like, fumbling around. It doesn't bode well all the time. I like to keep things in simple terms for my. It's easier for me to remember in simple terms when you do vast arrays of things, I guess. So jargon, not my friend. Never been my friend. I don't know about you. Like, do you remember in school how you had to like remember like all those sight words and stuff like that? How were you at that?
I just need to memorize it for like 10 times or more, maybe.
Ah, yeah. So you just like write it down 2 or 3 times and you just do it in your head a couple times, or
Yeah, it's easier for me. I mean, somehow in during college, it's like easier for me to memorize like medical stuff compared to most of my classmates. Some of my classmates, it will be hard for them actually to like get it. Even like the I don't know if you understand this pathophysiology, how our bodies work, like how our blood flows from one organ to another, things like that. It's easier for me to memorize compared to most of my classmates. Sometimes I would review them actually.
okay. It's probably do you find that you, link each preceding body part to the next or something like that? You get what I'm saying? So, like so all you like, oh, the finger bone connects to the hand bone kinda stuff like that, or is that kinda how you process the memorization or something? Because some people
Um,
don't do it like that, I feel like, and, that
I
might
mean,
increase difficulty.
in in starting in medical school, your biology should be the base of everything. So if
Yeah.
you suck at biology, you will suck at everything
Ah,
because biology is like the normal function of our body. So if you didn't learn anything from biology, if you didn't memorize anything and didn't understand everything from it, then you will suck. It will be a domino effect. Because how will you know the things that the patient will experience when he has a sickness if you don't know the normal things, the normal function of that organ, so- something like that.
Gotcha. See, I'm
So, for
hoping to
example,
take
if like he experiences like hemorrhage,
right.
then
So
you
bleeding.
will automatically know how hemorrhage like happens because like for example there is like an incision in somewhere that is connected to like your vascular system. So because you know that hemorrhage usually is related to the vascular system, you will need to find the problem in that system and then you will fix it. So if you don't know
Right.
anything, you can't fix
Yeah.
anything.
Gotcha. Gotcha. See, that's one of the classes I'm like hope like a class like that I'm hoping to take soon is like they call it human anatomy and biology or whatever or human maybe
Mhm.
it's just it's like a human anatomy class, you know what I'm saying? So I think maybe they do some biology, but I'm not for sure. That one's mostly memorization, I think is what the class is. So you learn like the internal systems and stuff like that. They might be a little bit how they connect, but
But you know what, Dorian? I suck at our biology class.
oh really?
Because our teacher is so stupid. He doesn't like enter the class most of the time, and if he tried to go to class, he will be so late, and we knew nothing
Yeah,
about like
I hate
biology.
that.
That's why during like the main nursing courses, actually, it was hard for me, and I needed to like review back biology and like memorize quickly everything because the foundation or biology foundation is not good. I almost
Like
flopped biology
complete
because
shit.
he doesn't teach anything and we don't know what will come out with his exams because he doesn't like go to our classes religiously.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, man. I get teachers like that too. I hate it. I
Mm,
hate when I get those teachers because for me it happens quite often
mm,
that I get teachers that don't know a goddamn thing about what they're teaching, and it's really frustrating. Like you said, you have to go back and like memorize everything. I don't want a teacher who grabs note cards off the internet and uses that for a fucking test. You know what I mean? Like that happens to me all the time. I don't feel like I'm learning anything in those situations. Like you said, then you have to go back and just memorize a textbook because someone failed to do their job in the first place of
yeah,
teaching you, you know? It's kind of like what why am I even doing this? I get what
it,
you're
it
saying with
was.
biology. Go ahead, sorry.
I mean, it was fine with me because it's easier for me to memorize anything. But how about those classmates who will have a hard time memorizing, especially medical terms, quickly?
Exactly.
Too bad for
No,
them.
I completely understand what you mean. It's not a positive thing. It's not a positive experience for you, and you know that you're pretty decent at it. So how it can't be it cannot be good for the rest of the class. Yeah, like you said, especially those who might be on like the slightly lower portion of the ability to do that. You know what I mean? Maybe they're not that they're like dumb or anything, but maybe they just have a harder time facilitating that
Because
ability. You know?
um, like it, like in a class, it's not a level playing field. Some of
No.
them will like take some time actually to learn, and some
Mhm.
could be easier for like a subject to learn it. So, you know,
Yeah, definitely. That's the thing. Like the teacher's job is to try and give everyone as level a playing field though as they possibly can, right? by being
Yeah.
a good teacher. So when they don't do that, it is kind of like then now all of a sudden you have this massive skew in students when it really like obviously there's always going to be a difference, but the higher level you get to in education, less and less skew between people. You know, maybe not a difference in ability,
Mm.
but skew of knowledge, you know what I mean? How you use that knowledge goes to like how good you're with it, but the general acquisition of that knowledge should be less skewed, you know what I mean? Like a doctor over here should and a doctor over here should know about the same amount of stuff and just have a different level of ability because of how good they are at it, right? Or how they relate it to different things. So that's the teacher's job to like help eliminate that gigantic skew. And over time you should see less and less of that. That's unfortunate you got teachers like that, you know, like it makes me think, man, these guys just probably don't even want to teach in the first place. They're just doing it for a check. And it just should hit the road. They should just get the fuck out of there because you're doing no one any service. You're if anything, you're doing society as at large a disservice by by doing that to students. You know what I mean? Not taking a proactive role in educating future professionals, you know. Maybe that's just my opinion, but I don't know.
Yeah, but
I think that a lot of people would agree with that.
yeah, that's true. Have you
Like
been
obviously you didn't enjoy it.
have you went to like a medical professional before and just questioned his knowledge about something?
Oh dude, I do that all the time. I think that it's important to be inquisitive about your like especially if it's about you, right? I think that
Mm.
you should question what they're saying and you should look up what they're telling you, right? Like it's not that you don't believe what they say, but it's good to be have a knowledge of what they're telling you. You know, especially when it's about yourself. So like you know, I have kidney stones. Like I'm not gonna not research what a kidney stone is, like the different varieties of these stones, and what are preventative measures so I don't have this problem in the future. You know what I mean? Like obviously I'm gonna do my due diligence because I had that medical problem before, right? So
Mm.
their job is to tell me what's going on and kind of alleviate the problem, right? At
Yeah.
that exact injunction, maybe give me one or two things that I can do in the future to help with this issue, right? Their
Yeah.
job isn't to give me the whole book on it. It's my job then to do the due diligence and try and understand things I can do to prevent that in the future, right? And then, you know, if this information that I've collected is accurate, if I am concerned, right?
Yeah.
Would you disagree that that's kind of like the job of the patient, not to obviously question them, but to just have some level of knowledge about what's going on
Yeah,
with
that's
themselves?
I would love for patients actually to at least do their research before going um to a medical professional actually. It will be easier actually to explain anything to them.
Yeah.
It will be easier to like to debunk maybe some of the knowledge that they have gotten from somewhere,
Mhm.
especially if they're it will be easier more if they are open minded.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, like, I just think that it would be obviously, you don't do, like, the doom scrolling on Google and get, like, those weird Erowid questions, you know, because I know that happen like you said, you can because then you have to debunk, like, 10,000 things, but, yeah, just doing a little due diligence and being mindful of where you research your, particular sickness or whatever, I think that's very important for people
That's
at
true.
any level to do. I don't know. I glad that you kind of agree with me at least. I think most medical professionals would, but I don't know. I mean, you got so much misinformation now, like, you know, people talking about like seed oils and
You
drinking
know what? What's
what?
irritating is that there are lots of videos out there like teaching something about medical stuff, and you will find out that these people are not actually like um related to anything medical. They haven't studied anything. They just like went there and like teach and something about medical. That's irritating actually during COVID times because with the
Yeah.
light of the start of the social media, there will be a lot of people who will be saying disinformation about medical stuff, which is so scary because most people are would actually follow them, and
Hmm.
it could hurt them more than like alleviate their sickness or something.
Yeah, like we are talking about the ivermectin the one day a little bit. That was
Yeah,
like one of those things here. They're like, "Oh, consume ivermectin," which is, an anti-parasitic to get rid of a virus, and just I know I get what you're saying completely. I don't I really don't appreciate that. I wish there was some kind of like safeguards with social media to prevent people from spreading stuff like that in general. Not At least they would have to have, like, some kinda disclaimer at the beginning of the video being like, "Dude, I have no medical not like, no medical credentials whatsoever. This is just my opinion." Like, if they had to do that at the beginning of the video, I think that would at least help, like, delineate the amount of people who, like, believe them, you know what I mean? I don't know if you think that would be something that could help or not, but
I mean, you have no idea how many videos are reported already for like spreading misinformation. But
a
guess
lot.
what? They're still there. The channels
I
are still there,
gonna
still spreading disinformation to everyone, and they have like thousands of views.
No, I know. People like that stuff. It's like people like things that are exciting and go against the norms or whatever, right? And it's not great. It's not great, I don't think, for the society as a whole. It really isn't. I think you agree with that. I That's the point you're trying to make here. And yeah, dude, I don't understand. I mean, I guess I do understand the sheer quantity and amount of them, but you'd think that people would have some level of moral issue with it even to do it, but I guess maybe it's just about money also at that
Mhm.
point for them. I don't really know. So maybe they can sell some kind of a health plan or something like that. Some kind of a, I don't know, protein something or other. A lot of people do that. I feel like the ones that are selling like proteins and then like energy shots and stuff like that are on the slightly more credible side. But, usually because they're like, they gotta be approved by the company, you know what I mean? Obviously, if you're selling complete, pseudoscience garbage to people, they're probably not gonna want you to work with the company, but the Liver King guy, I think he had a deal with some supplements and stuff like that, and his stuff is kinda, like, shaky sometimes, so you know who I'm
Um,
talking about?
no, actually, but I have like a similar thing here in the Philippines. You know, there a lot of food supplements here in the Philippines being advertised. There are like food supplements for kidneys, food supplements for liver, food supplements for your vascular system. And what is weird is that most people are so gullible that they would like patronize those kinds of food supplements, even though after the advertisement they would say that there's no approved therapeutic claims. But in the video, you would see like some customers telling
It's
that they
all
are healed
jacked or
because of
whatever.
drinking like this. But you know what? When I was um, in nursing school, and we used to like have a duty in emergency rooms, and sometimes we have a lot of patients who are having kidney problems because of people drinking these food supplements. Apparently, these food supplements would hurt your kidney actually if you drink a lot of it, because the kidney filters all of the um, garbage that are being like
Yep.
metabolized in our like being
Saying metabolized into different things. That's like again, that's where kidney stones come from. I
yeah.
remember while I was there, I was like, I can't keep eating because we were eating like lots of different like organ meats and stuff like that. Remember, I said that I probably need
Mm,
to eat like slightly less organ meat after I
mm,
had the stone. That actually is because the way it metabolizes, it's something to do with the protein in it or something in organ meat that can affect your kidneys in a way that increases kidney stone prevalence. So I get what
I
you're
see.
saying completely. Yeah. It just a lot of those supplements are like that too. So it like increases like it increases strain on both the liver and then the kidneys. But I don't know which one you're talking about particularly. I it could be like so many different compounds. I think anything outside of like a basic level of like creatine, protein, like stuff like niacin, and then God, what is it? Like there's like a nitrogen compound too. Beyond those things, like basic vitamin stuff, you know what I mean? Your B vitamins, C vitamins, D vitamins. You really those are all only gonna arguably help you so much, right? You know what I mean? But beyond that, you really shouldn't be taking I don't think people should be taking like some weird ass compounds and stuff. I don't think it's like good for them health wise.
You know
Even
what?
when I exercised a lot, I didn't do that shit. So
You know what? Even if you take a lot of multivitamins, it will not like enter your body because these
yeah,
multivitamins are even absorbed by our body. So you're just at least um, like absorbing maybe like 10% of that multivitamins that you have drank, like taken. So it doesn't make sense. If you want to like increase the absorption of vitamins in your body, eat vegetables, fruits. That will be an easier way to do than drinking multivitamins. I'm just saying.
so basically do what our like ancestors did for like almost a million years or whatever until like 200 years ago. Yeah, I get what you're saying completely. There's been like lots of research done all over the place about vitamins in general. Like you said, the absorption rates and like different compoundings of the vitamins and like really how much you can take in.
Mm,
And then also about like shelf life. You know what I mean? So like if they sit on the shelf for so long, what does that say about their like level of potency and everything else like that? How do they degrade over time? So I completely get what you're saying. Like that's kind of like why I'm like I'll take like powders and stuff like that or every so often now. But even when I was exercising before, when I was in my like stuff like that, I
mm,
never really did that. I would just eat more. I just eat more calories and that's how I did it, and a lot of the time when you consume those, even like you said, like the absorption level with things like protein powders and stuff, you're gonna have absorption, but if you don't like layer that right with like food consumption or whatever else, all you're gonna do is just push that right out your system. I'm sure you know
mm.
what happens when you overindulge in protein. You know what I mean? How that affects your
Yeah,
gastrointestinal tract and everything else like that. So I'm not probably using all the right words here. I think you kind of get what I'm trying to say here, right?
yeah.
Yeah, push that right all out.
Go,
So
going back to the food supplements, what is sad is that most people who are using it actually are old people who
yeah,
have who are more prone to having kidney problems because growing old, most of our organs are not functioning that well already. Especially those old people around 70s and 80s, most of their um, organs are not functioning that well. It will be hard for them actually to like control their key things like that. And these are like the number one market for food supplements here in the Philippines. And also, most of these people are from far flung areas. They would hear these commercials of food supplements from radio. So, most of the time they think that these commercials are actually true and could really help them. They're, as I've told you
Um,
earlier, most of this commercial would say that it would heal their high blood pressure, it would heal their cancer and stuff. To that point, actually healing cancer.
so they're selling them snake oil essentially and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that's too bad, man. I don't know. We used to have more of a problem with it here in America, but they kind of like we still do have a bit of a problem with it in America, and
Mm,
some do target older people, but we have gotten slightly. I want to say we've gotten slightly better about it because of just mostly because like the opioid crisis and stuff like that in America. Because we had that, we kind of got like a lot stricter on like medical marketing and stuff like that. Because it used to be back in the day, I think we talked about this, like doctors would even get paid to prescribe certain medications. And usually you could tell because in the office, they'd have like mugs with the names on of the medicine on it. All their pens would have that medicine name on it. They'd have some decal on the wall with the goddamn medicine on it. So we've gotten a little bit stricter about it, but we still have a very bad problem with it. But now it's more targeted towards, I want to say, like younger people and they're in my age group, sort of, 20s to 30s. And not always us, but those are like more like vitamin supplements and stuff like that. There's like other I think for like different age groups have different kind of set medical marketing in America, so it's like a little bit different. But yeah, I get what you're saying because it was happening for a very long time. Like a big thing I remember was I don't know if you've had them have them there at all, but there'll be like these pills are like, oh, they increase mental alertness, cognitive function, that and the other. Do you guys have something like that?
mm.
Basically claiming to be the super Adderall without any of the side effects. You know what I mean?
I, I mean, technically, we don't like experience a lot of like those kinds of medicine because they're so expensive. It's only the rich who can afford those things. Actually.
Dude, they're all completely pseudoscience garbage though too. You know what I mean? That's the thing. I mean, some of them might have like some non-correlatable effect, but like or the
Uh,
correlation so small that it means nothing. But
how do you explain this? Technically, there are no medicines that would directly cure anything related to the brain
yeah.
because our brain has this what we call blood brain barrier, which
Mm-hmm.
like filters everything that goes to the brain. So technically, the only thing that could like cross to the brain is sugar. So like if you have like a tumor in the brain, there's no really medicine actually to like cure the tumor because any medicine that would try to like pass the blood brain barrier, it will just be like filtered by the blood brain barrier, so it will not enter. So most of the medicines actually related to any brain diseases or maybe psychological disorders, psychiatric disorders actually are just to control like the synapses the of the
Yeah.
brain, like the electromagnetic things that are happening in the brain. That's like their function, but not to technically cure like the sickness. It's just to control the brain activity so that you will not be agitated or like feeling like very slow or things like that.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I'm doing like an introductory psychology class. So I mean, like we learned about that particular thing a little bit. I get what you're saying. That's what I'm saying. So like those medications, like those have been like were hyped for a hot second here in America, and I just
Mhm.
remember watching those commercials, being like, "Dude, you it doesn't even do it. What do you mean? Like it makes no sense, at all to me. Like why people would buy into that kind of marketing. I guess I don't know if you've seen Limitless before, like that movie. You know what I'm talking
Never
about?
heard, never heard of it actually.
Oh, oh shit! It would be a lot easier to explain. Well, basically, they're trying to market it like the medicine the guy takes in that movie. The medicine basically increases his cognitive function to like the maximum level, and he's like picking words out of like newspapers from like hundreds yards away and formulating these into like PhD level
Hmm.
discussions and stuff like that with people. He becomes like a successful stockbroker and all sorts of other stuff. It's honestly a pretty good movie, but the premise of it, like we're talking about with the like a medicine even being able to do that,
Yeah,
is kind of like flawed, pretty flawed. But that's how those kind of medicines were being marketed, I think. They're kind of
I see.
like, oh, this is the limitless pill, but
Well,
you can't really do that.
um, that's what happened to penicillin before when it was discovered. It could cure like anything.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking penicillin, but like I get like the hype, how you do need to hype certain things a little bit, but when you're basically like, this will make you unkillable, un this will make your brain the best ever been. It's a little bit much. It's a little bit much. I understand positive marketing, like obviously, like you see that in things like nuclear fission and stuff like that, where they're like, oh, limitless energy, this, that, and the other. We're this close to making this happen. Or like with quantum computing, you have that too, where they're like, oh, this is going to revolution AI. AI is another great example. AI is great, don't get me wrong, but it's not like how people tried to portray it originally. And even now, as it gets better, it's still not to the level that they're trying to market it as, you know what I mean? Not that it's not great and it doesn't have great potential, but I don't like I feel like overextending the marketing sometimes can be a problem as far as
Mm.
people's like perception of what the reality is. And it's just like I don't want to be like it's flawed exactly. Because again, you need to hype things to sell it to the consumer, but it gets to be a little bit much, I think.
Have you heard recently that they have found like a cure for HIV?
There's been several cures for HIV though throughout medical history, so I'm
Yeah,
not
I have
surprised.
heard something about like a person with HIV in the UK, and he have created like an antibody. His body created an antibody against HIV, I think. The
Yeah,
newer one we have heard is the like it will like remove the HIV
RNA,
RNA from like your DNA, and then it will totally remove everything. So you won't
kind of
have
like how they
uh,
kind of like how they cured hepatitis, right? Like hepatitis C or whatever. So it removes the RNA and then it
I
becomes
don't think
non-transmissible.
there's a cure for hepatitis. It
Hepatitis
is
C,
still
yeah, no,
there. It will
you
still be
still
there.
you still have it, but it doesn't interact with your body anymore and it's non-transmissible.
Yeah.
So it stops damaging the liver and then it's non-transmissible to other people. I think is that kind of like, but you like you said, it does
Um.
target RNA, right?
Um. uh, this is what happens with all of the virus diseases. Actually, you will like have it, and then if you try to like um what do you call this? Most of the time, the care for people with disease related to viruses are palliative. So if you have like a fever, then you will try to treat the fever. If you have dehydration, you will try to like fix that dehydration. And after that, it's every symptoms is like treated already. Then somehow the virus will just sleep there. But at the next time that you are going to like be weak again, and that might be the time that will awaken again the virus, and then you will have the same like symptoms again. Yeah, I mean chicken
Yeah, no, I
pox.
get what you're
If
saying.
you, I don't know if there is someone in history who has like second chicken pox, because you know if you will have chicken pox before, you will not have any chicken pox again. Maybe because like the chickenpox virus doesn't mutate, so you won't have to. You don't need to have. You will not have it anymore. So which means that
Okay.
your body has already created an antibody against it, so it will not be able to like do its thing again.
Okay. Yeah. So see, that's like where my misunderstanding in it with it comes a little bit, I guess. He's like, I'm not like again, I'm not an expert. My understanding was that chickenpox or shingles was kind of like a form of the chickenpox.
No,
Maybe
they
that's
are
like
different. They are different from each
they're
other.
different. Okay, but you don't get shingles unless you've had chickenpox, right?
No, you can have shingles. It's a different thing.
Okay.
It's a different thing.
See, see, in American like medicine, like we relate shingles to chickenpox for some reason
They are
because
different
okay.
source of virus.
See, that's like always like a thing that people like. See, that's where knowing medical information is very important. I think because like I said, that's an American very an American thing to me. When people talk about shingles, if anyone
I let me go ahead and check. Maybe like they are like the same disease. I don't know, but I think shingles is different from chickenpox. I think
get shingles, it was just one of those things that like we do connect together. I don't know why
I'll confirm that
because it
to
is
you
not technically
later.
exactly the
I'll confirm like
okay.
to you later. I need to do my research first. I don't want to like look stupid here.
No, I get it. No, I completely understand. It's one of those things like because back in the day, it was very common for people to try and get their kids to actually get chickenpox. I don't know if they did that there, but here in America, my grandma did it to me even actually. She thought it was better that I get chickenpox and then like get over it because you can only have it once and it's worse if you get it during adulthood. I know that.
Yeah,
But
because yeah, the problem with getting chicken pox if you're like old is that you will have some scars.
yeah, it can also make you sterile too,
Yeah,
which
that's
uh,
true
I
also.
don't know if that's like super common, but because obviously it covers all your genitals and stuff like that. So it was like it during the period that I got it was actually when they started to be like stop giving it to kids because during like the I want to say like 70s, 80s, maybe even into the 90s, doctors almost recommended kids get it as long as they didn't have like other medical conditions. Or maybe they
Mhm,
didn't recommend it, but they were like kind of like, wink wink kind of thing. But
mhm.
by the time I had gotten it, it was already kind of like they're kind of like we're pushing away from that. They're like maybe don't give your kids chicken pox because it's not really a prevalent thing anymore. Because it's like pretty rare in America. Chicken pox in general is now, but at that point in time, I think is when it was kind of like seeding out of that. Yeah, it is just like one of those things. I thought was weird because I'm one of my I don't know if I'm like one of the only kids in my age group that I know with that's ever had chicken pox, but I don't think that a lot of people in my age group has had it at this
I see.
point. Yeah. I don't know if they did that there. Did they do that there at all? Do you remember as a kid, like where the people would get chickenpox and you God, they like
I
literally
mean,
call it chickenpox parties.
most of the time, it will happen during kindergarten. So all of you
Yeah.
will have chickenpox.
Right, right. So just like instant spread, everyone's got
Oh,
it.
just like spread.
See, that's the thing.
But
I don't remember any of my friends having gotten it, but
I mean, you can easily get like chickenpox here, especially we're like a third world country or something. And you know what? If you're going to test everyone here with tuberculosis, 95% of the Filipinos will be positive for tuberculosis.
oh, really?
Yeah.
See,
Um.
there's a guy who wrote a book recently called Everything's Tuberculosis, and he makes a great case for it. He does not like the idea of tuberculosis because obviously it's a highly curable disease at this point.
mm,
I'm not surprised that everyone there does have it though. I think it's kind of like a shame because it's super mediatable. Like it should not be an issue anywhere in the world. I think at this point, just because of the cost to make it not a thing. You know,
mm.
I don't know.
I mean, having like the test is actually for the skin test, so you'll most of the time Filipinos will be positive for like the skin test for tuberculosis because the bacteria is somewhat in like in the air, especially here in Manila.
Gotcha.
You will really be positive for tuberculosis if Filipinos will um, be tested with it actually. I had tuberculosis when I was young. Actually, I got
Really?
I got the what do you call this one? Chemotherapy for tuberculosis for like 6 months.
So so it's like God, I don't know too much about tuberculosis. Don't Isn't there like a immune as I immunization? Sorry, I'm just like stumbling over that word. Isn't there like a shot
There's
you can get for that
supposed
or
to be an immunization already for tuberculosis.
yeah. It's like like not like polio exactly, but similarly.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
med-
I don't know if you do you know The Fault in Our Stars or whatever. Do you know that?
yeah, I
I
know
think
that.
there's a movie and a book.
I haven't seen that. I know the yeah I know the movie actually. I haven't seen. I just didn't see it.
Okay, so that the guy who wrote the book and the movie, or not the had the movie made anyway. He wrote a book called Everything's Tuberculosis. It's about like the prevalence of it and like why it's probably shouldn't be a thing anymore. Going into the future, we should do stuff to eradicate it.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? People the the ability to immunize against it, everything else like that, and the amount of deaths that happen as a result of the disease when it is so easy to get rid of and stuff.
I
It's something you can
mean,
look up. I'll send you a link to it.
I think it's part of the law here in the Philippines that once there is a baby that born, they will immediately be immunized for I forgot the
First,
tetanus,
like a myriad of things, right?
polio, measles, whooping cough, uh, TB, I think, and hepatitis. And you will also
Yeah,
have like vitamin A drops. It will be
yeah.
done within a year. You will have the parents will have a card where there's a checklist if they have already done the immunization. Sometimes
Right.
immunization will be done like every 3 weeks or something, things like that. So
No,
it's
I get what
like
you're
the
saying.
law here. I don't know about yours there because you're more into freedom.
Um, I want to say there was a law for a long time, but because people have been pushing back against different vaccines and stuff, they're trying. like maybe you don't have to get certain ones. I don't know. It's complicated because I did get immunized against like all the same stuff like whooping cough, polio, hepatitis A and B, and I think even once I and then obviously as you grow older, there's a different set. So when you hit like both when you get to like age 9, 10, and then again once you hit puberty, they give you a new set of boosters. So like I maybe even like immunized against like genital warts and things like that. You know what I mean? They have like shots for
Why
that
do you have?
now. They're to prevent you from getting them in the first place. So basically, it makes you unable to contract them. It's because like it's not a big issue for boys, but for girls, it can cause lots of like like things like cervical cancers and various other things. So now they even give you shots for that once you hit puberty and stuff, just to like prevent any unnecessary cancers and things like that. So
I'm just
yeah.
wondering, are the boys there not, or that sexually active that they needed to like get vaccination for genital warts?
I think that it's because it's like one of those things that can be like a recessive gene. So like you
Mm-hmm.
don't even know you have it.
Mm-hmm.
So so if like your parents didn't had it and they didn't know or whatever else and now you have it and you don't know. It's just like a preventative measure. Not necessarily that you're super sexually active even, but it is just to prevent the potentiality for it to like all of a sudden come out, like, you know what I mean, express itself. Because during puberty is about when like I think that it would activate or something like that. I can't remember how. I don't know all the details about it, but I think at that about that point is when like something like that would activate if it is a recessive gene, if it's going to activate. And then like I said, with girls and stuff like that, a lot of the time it is more dangerous because it can cause, again, like cervical cancers and stuff like that. So I think they do it as a preventative measure just in case the gene does express itself or like the disease does express itself. And then also if you do have like the recessive form, you don't accidentally pass that on to somebody else who can and then can activate it. You know what I mean? I think it's just preventative. So they do like it's just like anything else, you know what I mean? Like the polio one, just you're not gonna get polio. Most likely, you don't probably have polio already. You're probably not going to get polio. But to make sure that does not happen, here you go. Right. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. I think that it's probably good. But hepatitis also can be like transmitted in those kinds of ways, but we don't think about it in the same context, I don't think. You get what I'm
That's
saying? You know what I mean? So it's like if we all had a cure for AIDS, we're going to give that to our fucking teenagers too. It's not like we think that they're gonna get AIDS or have AIDS. It's just like you're gonna give them that vaccine to make sure that that never becomes an issue in the first place. I think that's more what it is than anything. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing also with hepatitis, there are like different kinds of it,
Yeah.
and you can
A
like
through
get it
F, I
in
think.
like a different way. Like for example, hepatitis A, you would get it if you ate food that were not handled cleanly. For
Contaminated
B,
food.
for B, it will be more like the blood related
hmm
things, like blood transfusion, like basically how you get AIDS. It will be the same with hepatitis B. Hepatitis
Right.
C is, I think, alcohol related. So
Hepatitis C is also bloodborne too, though.
hmm, I don't
So
know.
you can transmit it.
Sometimes
I think the same goes for D and E, but
during a review, we just stop at hepatitis B. We don't tackle anymore the other letters of hepatitis. But there are a lot more actually. Hepatitis D, I
that's
think
what I'm
they
saying.
have.
Like, yeah, so I think it goes to hepatitis F now, but like D and E are found in Africa more than anywhere else in the world. I can't remember because I did a whole deep dive once on all the different hepatitis because I was like, what the fuck? Because I heard that there was another one after C at one point, and I was just like, what the? And so I deep dived, and I'm pretty sure it goes to F, hepatitis F for some reason, but it might go beyond that. I'm not really sure, or it might be E. I can't remember. But I did deep dive this once. I thought it would. I just, 'cause I'm a weirdo. I'm a weirdo. What can I say?
What's what's the last? What do you call that? The cancer for liver.
What? What'd you say?
What do you call the cancer for liver?
Oh, liver. I know liver cirrhosis. I don't know what
Cirrhosis.
it's
Yeah,
like.
that's the cancer for liver. That's technically
Yeah.
the cancer of the
Okay.
liver. Cirrhosis.
Gotcha.
So so basically, it's like an increasing kind of disease. First, you will
Hmm.
have fatty liver because by the time your liver doesn't work that much anymore, then you will have hepatitis, depending on what kind of hepatitis you have. Then after hepatitis, you will have liver cirrhosis. So if you have
Yeah.
liver cirrhosis, it means that you'll kind of die very soon.
No, one of my uncles died of liver cirrhosis. Or
And
actually,
one thing,
he didn't
if,
die from liver cirrhosis, but something similar. Continue. Sorry. Go
if
ahead.
somehow when you have liver cirrhosis and you suddenly vomited like black blood already, it means you're dying. Just kidding. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. Yikes. Yeah.
Did-
Like I said,
What
man,
happened to
I
your
had an
uncle?
uncle with it. Um, he didn't die from the liver cirrhosis. Ironically, he died from a medication they gave him because they gave him an improper medication. It was like an autoimmune drug to help. It was supposed to help him, you know what I'm saying? But because he had liver cirrhosis, it interacted with the liver cirrhosis and it ended up killing him. Because it was like a it was like a interaction with the medication that ended up killing him because
Did
you're not supposed to actually give that type of medication to someone with liver cirrhosis in the first
did you
place.
sue the doctor who prescribed that?
What was that?
Did you sue the doctor?
There was like they were trying to do stuff like that because there it wasn't like he died immediately from the medication either. It was like, he was getting like these weird like patches all over his skin and stuff like that as a result of the medication, and it slowly caused
Hey,
like renal failure or something. Hello, dude.
do you remember
I
him?
think we're about to end it here, man. You came in a little late. Good to have you though.
I told him to add you because he was.
I saw that. He
We're-
commented on one of my things. I appreciate that. But yeah, I think I gotta go. I
It's
gotta go
this friend.
go to school and stuff.
It's this friend actually who wanted us to go live, but obviously it's not here.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not sure if that's his friend actually.
Yeah, we'll be back on Friday,
Yeah,
correct?
Friday.
Is that today? Okay, yeah.
Maybe
So
we could
you
like
can catch us
extend
there
for like
again.
10 more minutes if you wanted to. If you don't have anything to do today.
I have like a lot to do, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. That's the thing. I would love to, and I'm really, really sorry, guys. I apologize so much.
Hey, thank you for
Maybe we
joining
can
us. By
do.
the way,
Yeah,
it's fine.
I it's okay. Don't sweat it at all. I apologize for not being able to do it a little bit longer. I have so much to do. I have like lots of school to catch up with, and I have to go talk to a couple different businesses today. So I'm sorry, but if he wants, we can maybe do something sooner than Friday. But that's totally up to him and stuff like that. But I got to
See,
go for now. I apologize, guys. I love you for
thank you. By
coming.
the way,
Thank you.
Rob.